In So Far From God, with an emphasis on La Loca, we can see hauntings trivialized by outside perspectives surrounding her. In the novel, she is ostracized by many people in the community, holding her father's attention only when beneficial for himself, and literally renamed crazy by her family. The notions of sanity and authenticity are challenged in the midst of a haunting, which for women lead to a diminished societal reliability. By limiting our focus to women, we can determine correlations between the reactions to women hauntings in So Far From God, Beloved, and local Asheville folklore.
Hi, I'm Shelley Wright, and I am a paranormal investigator. I am scientifically minded. I wanted to use the scientific method and not just feelings, not just, oh, I feel this or I feel that. I wanted to try and get objective evidence that was hopefully repeatable, which sometimes is kind of hard in the paranormal.
In So Far From God, La Loca embodies the tenuous social distinction between mental illness and spiritual awareness. After coming back from the dead, La Loca Santa is initially embraced as a saint, and her community flocks to her in hopes of receiving blessings. But this reverence turns to antipathy as the community adjusts its initial opinion of Loca's sainthood. In the novel, Loca's reclusive tendencies lead others to dismiss her religiosity, mistaking the fact that she showed no apparent social skills to mean she was a simpleton. Loca's preternatural abilities cannot be explained logically, and thus society relegates her religiosity to the realms of insanity. People see La Loca as a soulless creature who has a disgusting mental illness. Even Catholic leaders who witnessed Loca's revival firsthand are ambivalent about the resurrection, rejecting the miracle on the basis of Loca's perceived mental health. The bishop present at Loca's funeral and rebirth dismissed it as an example of the ignorance of the community who failed to provide her with proper emotional medical attention. In So Far From God, others undermine Loca's authentic religious connections by maintaining that the girl is simply not responsible for her mind.
In Beloved, it is easier for society to explain authentic hauntings as mere manifestations of mental illness rather than the ineffable. The house at 124 is filled with charged spiritual energy which evokes primal and unexplainable fear within the larger community. Setha and Denver are attuned to the ghostly matters within their home, but society undermines these women's experiences by questioning their sanity. We are told that if Cincinnati had allowed Negroes into the lunatic asylum, they could have found candidates in 124. Neighbors dismiss Setha and Denver's true and dangerous experience with the ghost, joking amongst themselves that no one can consider what those women had in their head a mind. As the haunt thickens and Setha isolates her family within 124, Denver is delusioned within her mother's unexplainable actions. She comes to challenge her mother's wherewithal, questioning if her mother had in fact lost her mind. When Denver is desperate to appease Beloved's ghost and save her mother from the spiteful spirit, she elects to enter the workforce and is exposed to the larger opinions others hold of her and her family. Denver notices that her employer, Jane, was more interested in Setha's condition, believing the woman had lost her mind and wits. Yet, like Loca Santa, the community is eventually shocked to see that Setha and Denver are not insane, but rather spiritually haunted. At the end of the novel, the troupe of women approach the house. Ella derisively judges Setha and Denver, saying, "Damn, those women are crazy. Crazy!" Jane cuts her off, saying, "Yeah, well, ain't we all? It doesn't mean they don't need help."
Zelda Fitzgerald is one of Asheville's most famous literary women. However, she is overshadowed by F. Scott Fitzgerald and his attempts to stifle and silence her work. Zelda was committed to the Highland Hospital in Montford, and as part of her treatment was repeatedly injected with insulin to send her into shock. It was there she died in a fire tragically locked in her room.
I don't know who has more experiences, if it's males or females.
Outside of the paranormal investigation world, do you feel like you've been, people have changed their opinion of you because they've found out that you are involved in this field?
You know, I think it made them feel even better about
Do you ever
me.
feel like you have to hide who you are?
Yes, sometimes I do. Sometimes. Why? Because I think it's part of that making people feel comfortable and helping people when I have people that come to me for help. I want to put them at ease. I don't want to give them any reason to doubt that I can help them. I want them to know that everything's going to be okay, because they're in a situation where they already feel like an outcast. They feel like they're crazy. They feel like nobody can help them. They feel like nobody's there. Are skeptics, and then there are skeptics. Skeptics, I welcome. If you come with an open mind and you're asking questions and you are curious, I am happy to have other people who say that they're skeptics, but they are closed-minded and they are never going to open their minds up to anything. They have already figured out what's going on, and if you're not on board with that, then you are crazy. What I believe is that who you are in life is who you are in death.
Some spirits choose to stay in like the earthly realm while to haunt others, while other ghosts
go on? I think that some stay because some don't want to leave their families. They don't want to leave things other unfinished. Spirits, I believe, that are afraid of where they're going to go. They may be more good people in life, and they realize that they weren't, and just not so sure where they're going to be. So they kind of hang back and decide, well, you know, maybe this is better than what's waiting for me.